What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Decoding with Cody. Today is December 15th, 2025. And the big story going around today in the news is the death of Rob Reiner, the famous director and actor. And we are going to explore a very interesting connection to Rob Reiner's death and Charlie Kirk's death. I'm going to show you a clear connection of how this matrix is one big web. This matrix is, we know by now, if you guys have been watching this channel for any length of time, you know that this is a big web. This whole reality, everything's connected, right? So we're going to show this clear connection, hopefully a quick video. I know I always say that, but please hit the like button if you guys are just getting in. Also, let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. I'm assuming you can. But yeah, this is the news story of the day. And let's just preface this here. So Rob Reiner died yesterday on December 14th, 2025. And so let me go down to his death here. Let me find it. One second. I know there's got to be a right. Here it is. So let's read the story of Rob Reiner and his death, and then we will get into the. I don't want to make this very long, guys. I've been tired today, and I just decided to do this stream on a whim. So, but anyway, we're gonna show the clear connections. But first, we got to know the story of Rob Reiner. So, him and his wife Michelle were found dead at their home in Brentwood, Los Angeles on December 14th. Their daughter Romy discovered their bodies. Reiner was 78. The Los Angeles Fire Department responded to a medical aid call at the residence at 3:38 PST. Authorities later confirmed that both had sustained fatal stab wounds. The Los Angeles Police Department opened a homicide investigation with a robbery. A robbery. This guy's name is Robert, and it's interesting. Robbery Homicide Division. Okay. On December 15th, today, the LAPD announced that it had charged the Reiner's son, Nick, with the murder. Authorities noted that Rob and Nick had argued on Saturday evening at a Christmas party hosted by Conan O'Brien. He is being held with no bail, and the case being presented on December 16th. So, again, we get all these weird stories in the news, and this one is just on also very weird. Again, his son. So a guy named Carl Carlton died too just recently. I'll have to look into that in a little bit, but somebody posted that in the chat. I want to give a big shout out to Back Once Again, one of my subscribers. He actually clued me on to more of this connection with this being Charlie. So let me just show you how clearly this is connected to the Charlie Kirk riddle, the Charles stuff. I've been covering that for months. So anyway, we know the story, right? Supposedly it was Rob Reiner's son, Nick, who killed his father, Rob. Okay, well, the guy who shot Charlie Kirk was Robinson. Guys get it? But look at, and someone in the chat mentioned this. Look at this. Rob Reiner, the guy who died, his father's name is Carl. Guys, this is the same theme that I've been on for months. The guy's name is Carl. The father of Rob Reiner, his name is Carl, okay? How many times have I talked about Carl and Charlie being the same name? Guys, you got to go back and watch all my videos on Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to go and explain all that again. But anyway, this is the father of Rob Reiner, who just died, okay? And this is a reason. This is the reason, guys. We get the Charlie connection again. Okay. And yes, Carl in The Walking Dead. I've already covered that before. But anyway, but here's the connection. All right, here it is. Rob Reiner just died, right? And he did a movie called Being Charlie. Okay, Being Charlie. So there's your first connection. He did a movie called Being Charlie, and now he dies the same year that Charlie Kirk dies. Okay? But look at this. Rob Reiner did this movie Being Charlie with his son, Nick Reiner. Now, who was being charged with killing his father? And again, shout out to back once again on YouTube. He shouted me out. He clued me in on this. Nick Reiner, the son who killed his father yesterday, they did a movie together. These two guys, this is the son, this is the father, and shout out once again to Widow's son, who I've had on here many times now. He's been talking about how important the father and son. Yeah, it's all going to be tied to Christmas and Saint Nick, right? Because this guy's name is Nick. But anyway, shout out to Widow's son for always talking about the father-son code that's all throughout all of this, okay? But anyway, these two, the son and the father, they did a movie called Being Charlie, okay? Now, what is the movie about? Let's read. The movie is based on Nick Reiner's experiences with his heroin addiction and homelessness. So guys, this movie, Being Charlie, is about Nick Reiner. This movie, Being Charlie, is about Nick Reiner, who just killed his father. And they did this movie together called Being Charlie, and the movie is about Nick, who just killed his father. Now, look at when this movie was released. September 14th, 2015. Well, let's read. First, before we get into the date, let's read about what this movie is about. Here's the plot of the movie. On his 18th birthday, troublesome addict Charlie, who's been in rehab for years, walks out of a youth rehab facility in Utah. Guys, is something clicking in your heads here? This movie's called Being Charlie, and it's about Nick Reiner, who just killed his father. And Nick Reiner in the movie, it's in Utah, of all places? How many movies take place in Utah? This whole movie takes place starting in Utah, okay? So I don't know what to tell you guys, but this is another riddle connected to Charlie Kirk, okay? You got Being Charlie, you got the movie takes place in Utah. But look at this. Look at this, guys. When was Nick Reiner born? The son who just killed his father, right? When was he born? September 14th, 1993. Well, first of all, that's only 4 days after Charlie Kirk's death date, right? But look, September 14th, 1993. That's the birth of Nick Reiner, okay? Now he did a movie about himself, and it came out on his birthday. Look, the movie came out on Nick Reiner's birthday in September 14th, 2015. But here's the trippy part. Here's the trippy part. Nick Reiner's birthday in connection to Charlie Kirk, let's look at this. September 14th, 1993. When is Charlie Kirk born? October 14th, 1993. You're telling me that Nick Reiner is born exactly 1 month after Charlie Kirk? The same year. Exactly 1 month. So let's go to it. Nick Reiner's birthday. Sorry, Charlie Kirk is born 1 month after Nick Reiner. Look at this. So Nick Reiner, born on September 14th, 1993. Charlie Kirk, born on October 14th, 1993. 31 days apart. Nick Reiner is born 31 days before Charlie Kirk. How old did Charlie Kirk die? 31 years old. You guys getting it? So 31 days apart, the guy starred in a movie about himself, which is called Being Charlie. It takes place in Utah, and the guy who just killed his father is born 31 days before Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk died at 31. Okay? Born the same year, which means they're both would be 32 right now. And on top of that, not only does the movie take place in Utah, you can see that it's about freedom. You know, Charlie Kirk was wearing a freedom shirt. Another connection here is this movie was released in the United States on May 6th, 2016. Well, that's interesting because King Charles, like Charlie, right? His coronation was on May 6th also. So this connects to King Charles again. Absolutely no doubt about that. If you guys missed all my decodes on the Charlie code, you got to go back and watch my videos because, again, I'm not going to explain all that here. But again, the father of Rob Reiner, his name is Carl. Carl is a form of Charles. Erica Kirk's grandfather was named Carl. Erica Kirk is meeting with Candace Owens today. So this to me has to connect to the meeting of Candace Owens and Erica Kirk that's happening today. And yeah, I want you guys to think about the symbolism here. First of all, how many Charlies and Charleses have we had this year? I mean, it's just getting ridiculous. But on top of that, you've got Rob Reiner, right? The guy who shot Charlie Kirk was Robinson. It's the same etymology, guys. Robinson comes from Robertson, which is my last name, funny enough. But Robert and Robinson, very similar. They're similar etymology, okay? People in the chat are talking about Christmas being robbed. And I think that's a very interesting concept because Rob Reiner also did a movie called The Wolf of Wall Street. Are they about to pull the plug on Wall Street around Christmas? Why is that interesting? Because look at the date that the United States release of Wolf of Wall Street came out. Christmas. So the Wolf of Wall Street came out on Christmas. And again, why does that connect to all this? Because Rob Reiner did the movie, Rob Reiner was in the movie Wolf of Wall Street. You see right here? Rob Reiner played the father. Think about this. Rob Reiner, who just got killed by his son, played the father of Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street. He played Max Belfort. Okay, so the father-son thing again. Again, Max Reiner is the father of Jordan Belfort, and Jordan Belfort is the main character of Wolf of Wall Street. So think about the interesting connections here between this robbery, like robbing your Christmas cheer, the Grinch, right? So, yeah, the Wolf of Wall Street is probably connected to this. I don't have any more on that right now, but um, yeah, let's just type in Robert Norman Reiner. Let's see his Gematria. Again, on this channel, we do Gematria, but you know, the movie Being Charlie equals 66, kind of like Charles. And again, the Charles riddle is important here, right? Anyway, look at the Gematria of Robert Norman Reiner. This is the full name of the guy who just got taken out. It equals 222. Where's Joseph Aquaviva when you need him? Of course, Joseph Aquaviva, big YouTuber who's worked with me for many years. He's all about the 222. But this is order out of chaos, guys. Let me just hit this here. 222 777. You're going to see that we have some interesting connections here. Okay. Well, we just had that Bondi Beach thing, and that probably connected to Pamela Bondi, but let's not get her involved. But let's take a look at the full name of Rob Reiner, who just died. Robert Norman Reiner equals 222 and 777. This is a two-cipher match to order out of chaos. 222 777. You see that? So I think that this is possibly leading up to a ritual with the stock market or the money system that's coming very soon. Because again, Rob Reiner was in The Wolf of Wall Street. So this is my theory, but you know, you can take it or leave it. Yeah, he directed Sleepless in Seattle as well. There's a Seattle theme here, actually. We just covered Seattle yesterday in my video. Let's type in Carl Reiner because that's the father. Again, Carl means Charles. I don't see, well, I mean, but let's just type in Reiner because this is the, again, I don't have a lot of numbers for you guys tonight. I didn't do a lot of research into the numbers, so I'm just learning this as you are. But if anyone has anything in the chat, yeah, Bondi, like the bond market. That's why I'm telling you guys, this seems to be about the markets. But yeah, let's just go back to the main theme for a second. Going back to the movie Being Charlie. Again, this is the movie about Nick Reiner, the son who just killed his father, apparently. I mean, let me just do a quick date duration from Charlie Kirk's death to the killing. Just 1 second here. Notice that all this stuff is happening on the 14th of the month. Rob Reiner's son, Nick, born on the 14th of the month. They released the movie Being Charlie on the 14th of the month. This is Pope Leo's birthday. This is not to be overstated, guys. Pope Leo's birthday is September 14th. This is the same birthday as Nick Reiner. Well, look at this, guys. 3 months and 1 day. So from Nick's birthday to him supposedly killing his father, 3 months and 1 day. Again, Charlie Kirk, born 31 days. He died at 31, born 31 days after Nick Reiner. Also, it's 91 days, and 91 days is the 13th prime. 13 is the death card in tarot. So that's interesting. But let's go from Charlie Kirk's death. Yeah, I mean, look at this. There's some interesting things to say here, actually. It's 95 days, which is also 3 months and 4 days, like murder. Just to quickly type that in. Murder. Again, this is what it is, a murder. Notice how murder equals 34. Well, from Charlie Kirk's murder to Rob Reiner's murder, it's 3 months and 4 days. That's interesting. Again, guys, I don't have a lot of info for you on the numbers, and that's very unusual for me. I usually go hard on the numbers. But in this case, Somebody says, somebody says in the chat, there's a book about the 1929 stock market crash that came out on October 14th, the birthday of Charlie Kirk. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. Thank you for, what's that book called? If you could drop the name of that book in the chat, that would be nice. Not sure what you mean there with me bringing it up, but I didn't see what you said before. Yeah, again, guys, Carl and Charles and Charlie is the theme this year. But I want you guys to understand something about this that I think this is pointing to. Because I told you, what was I going to say? So, again, Erica Kirk is meeting with Candace Owens today as well. I'm not going to cover that either, but this is interesting as well. But in the year 1800, Charles the Great was coronated by Pope Leo. So I believe that this is the big key here with the Charles theme. Okay, it all goes back to Charlemagne. Okay, the first Roman Empire, or the first. He was recognized as the first emperor to rule the West after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. So Charlemagne, right? Charlemagne means Charles the Great, right? Look at Charlemagne, right? Look at when he was coronated. December 25th, 800. And who was he coronated by? Charlemagne was crowned on Christmas as emperor by Pope Leo the Third. Think about that for a second. Charles was crowned by Leo, the Pope, on Christmas in 800. So how many years ago was that? Let's take a measurement. Let's go back to the year 800. Christmas Day. And just to prove that, let me find it here. Let me see if they have it in here. Christmas. Let's find it here. Oh, here it is. Right here's the actual writing. It says, Leo swore an oath on December 23rd, declaring the innocent of all charges at the Mass in St. Peter's Basilica on Christmas Day 800. Leo proclaimed Charlemagne the Emperor of the Romans. Okay, so again, let's go from Christmas Day, the year 800. And let's go to Christmas Day this year. What will it be? Look at this. So this is big, guys. From Christmas Day, the year that Charles the Great was coronated by Pope Leo, to this Christmas is exactly 1225 years, like the date of Christmas. So what do I believe that all this Charlie stuff is pointing to? I think it's pointing to like this 1225 Christmas connection. Okay? It's 1225 years from 1225 800 to 1225 2025. Now, why is this so important? Because currently, in our current time, we have a pope named Leo and we have a king named Charles. Do you guys get the joke here? In the year 800, exactly 1225 years before today, before Christmas, we had a Pope Leo and a Emperor Charles, right? Well, right now we have a Pope Leo, right? We have Pope Leo, just like they did in 800, and we have a King Charles. So we have the same two names as they did 1225 years ago. Yeah, and Leonardo DiCaprio was in Wolf of Wall Street, right? And when did Wolf of Wall Street come out, right? Wolf of Wall Street came out in the United States on Christmas 12 years ago. So I think this connects to that. That's my personal, that's what I'm seeing with this. And Leonardo DiCaprio is super connected to Pope Leo. I've done a bit of work about that. But King Charles just came out and said that his cancer is being reduced, his cancer treatment. And remember, King Charles was the theme with Charlie Kirk. There was no doubt about that. There's no one more connected to Charlie Kirk, really, than King Charles. King Charles, he was super connected, right? Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Paul in the chat. He says that the Pope Leo during the 800 who coronated Charlemagne, he was Pope Leo the III, and now we're on Pope Leo the 14th. Well, what does that give you guys? That gives you pi, like a circle, right? So I'm thinking that this is the theme here. But anyway, let's get back to Rob Reiner. Does anyone else in the chat, before we hang this stream up, does anyone in the chat have anything else to add while I'm on here? Again, I should have done more research with the numbers. But again, if I find more numbers for you guys, I will certainly do another video about this. But I haven't looked into the numbers, actually. I find it interesting that Nick Reiner equals 106. We're in the 106th NFL season, right? The biggest thing to take away from this video, though, is that Rob Reiner and his son Nick did a movie called Being Charlie, which was about Nick Reiner, Rob Reiner's son, and now Rob Reiner has killed his father, apparently. Look at this, guys. In the picture here of them, it says Castle. Castle. Well, there's your King connection. But yeah, the movie came out on Nick Reiner's birthday, the son that just killed, right? And it takes place in Utah. And again, this is supposed to be Nick Reiner, but they called him Charlie. Why did they call him Charlie? If they're going to do a movie, you guys tell me this. If they're going to do a movie about his son, why did they choose the name Charlie? Why didn't they just name him Nick? Because his son, this movie's about his son Nick. Like old Saint Nick, right? This connects to Christmas, right? But why did they name him Charlie? Why is the movie called Being Charlie, right? It's because it's connected to Charlie Kirk. This is, again, just like Snake Eyes was. This is many years in the making. And let's just take a measurement. Let's take a measurement from the movie. Being Charlie to the death of Rob Reiner. Let's see something. So it was exactly 100 and... Oh, look at this, guys. Wait, hold on. Hold on, that's interesting. It's 10 years and 13 weeks. That's interesting because that means it's in the 10-year and the 14th week. It's also exactly 123 months. 123 months since the movie came out. Well, this is interesting because the name Charles equals 1, 2, 3. Look at this. So it was exactly 123 months from being Charlie to the death of Rob Reiner, who did the movie Being Charlie, right? Charles, where Charlie comes from, equals 123, 123 months. But if you go from, that came out on a partial eclipse. So what birthday was that for Leo? Somebody's saying there's a movie coming out called The Great Flood on December 19th. Is that true? Hold on. What's it called? The Great Flood? Oh, look at this. It's a Korean movie. Is it coming out? It's coming out on December 19th on Netflix. This is the same day that the Avatar movie is coming out. It's the same day that AI Atlas is closest to Earth. It's the same day as the Judgment Day fight between those two boxers. It's a huge day, December 19th. But yeah, now we have a movie coming out on December 19th called The Great Flood. Huh. It's Korean, it reminds me of Squid Games. Yeah, so December 19th is obviously a date to look for. The Great Flood, how about that? I mean, there's things I could say, but there's no point in getting into that right now, okay? I don't want to get too much off topic. But does anyone have anything to add on the Nick Reiner? This is connected to O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, he had his incident in Brentwood, Los Angeles. And again, Rob Reiner was also killed. Rob Reiner was also killed in Brentwood. And if you go back to O.J. Simpson. And again, think about this. We just had the shooting at Brown University. O.J. Simpson was responsible for taking out Nicole Brown. And now we have a stabbing death. Just the day after that. And again, it was in Brentwood, the same town. So what's up with Brentwood and stabbing deaths? We got the one from O.J. Simpson. He stabbed people in Brentwood, and now we have this thing with Nick Reiner stabbing his father in Brentwood. So I don't know, maybe there's a Gematria connection with Brentwood. Reindeer, that's a good one. There's probably something to that, Thornator. Reindeer, or sorry, not reindeer. What was I going to type in? Brentwood. Well, look at Brentwood. It equals 44. Look at this. Just trying to see if there's any. Notice that the word stab equals 66. I talked a bit about that. But yeah, Brentwood has the kill code, has the 44, the 127, But yeah, I mean, kill equals 44. You know, so yeah, there's something with Brentwood and these stabbings. I mean, stabbings equals 93. I believe that was the gematria of being Charlie. But just to add on to this, while we're here, remember the murder code? Murder equals 38. I already talked about the 34, but murder equals 83 and 38, right? That's the murder code, murder by numbers. Rob Reiner died. He was born on March 6th. So that means he died 83 days before his birthday. 83 days before his birthday, right? Like murder equals 83. He was murdered 83 days before his birthday. So that's just a simple connection with that. I mean, that's just in your face right there. He's murdered 83 days before his birthday. There's probably other connections as well. But you know, it would be look at his death is in the news 9 months and 10 days after his birthday, guys. His death is in the news today, December 15th, 9 months and 10 days after Rob Reiner's birthday. Well, again, Rob Reiner did a movie called Being Charlie. It takes place in Utah. Charlie Kirk, he was killed on what day? September 10th. So that's probably there something to that as well. But yeah, 9 months, 10 days after his birthday. Like Charlie Kirk, right? Let's see how old Charlie Kirk would be today. Please hit that like button, guys. Again, ask yourselves, what are the odds that these guys did a movie? This guy just killed his father, and he did a movie with his father called Being Charlie about a kid in Utah. Like, so yeah, just absolutely. Charlie Kirk. It's 62 days after Charlie Kirk's birth. Oh, no, hold on. 61 days. 61 days. Huh. 61 days, huh? What about Erica Kirk? Just to be nosy here. I mean, isn't it interesting that Erica Kirk is 444 months and 24 days old? But it's interesting just because stabbing, this is how this happened, right? This is what the weapon was, a stabbing. Stabbing does have that 444. But Erica Kirk's been in her 444th month, and she'll be done with that very soon. Hold on a second. She turned 1933. Wow. Guys, this is interesting. I'm seeing a Golden Gate Bridge riddle here with Erica Kirk. Check this out. Look at how old Erica Kirk was on Pearl Harbor Day when Daniel Jones went down for the Colts. And I've already talked about all that. I'm not going to touch that today, but She was 13531 days old. That's 135 forward and backwards. Well, 135 is a Golden Gate Bridge number. You see that? 135. And she's also turned exactly 1933 weeks old on Pearl Harbor Day. And that's the year the Golden Gate Bridge construction began, 1933. So again, something there with that. I don't want to get into that. Okay, I'm going to the chat because otherwise I'm just going to be messing around. Candace Owens equals 107.64. King Charles 107.64. Yeah. That's a good one. Look at this. King Charles 107.64. And Candace Owens 107.64. Same ciphers. I've already did a video on Candace Owens, guys. Again, you guys got to go back and watch all my other videos. I am not going over all of this, all this stuff from the past again. Just not tonight. But let's think about it. XX says the stabbing with like connection to Trump. Well, this connects to Caesar, right? Caesar was stabbed. Wait, let's see how many days after Caesar. Hold on. Let's do a quick measurement. How many days after the Ides of March? Because remember, Caesar was supposedly stabbed on March 15th. It's 274 days. Let's see if stabbing, hold on. Just wondering. I don't know if anyone sees anything there that connects that. I don't see anything off the top. Oh, now I see it. Look. Here it is, guys. Here we go. Look. 13 weeks. Guys, here it is. It's 13 weeks before the Ides of March, where Caesar was stabbed, right? 13 weeks before the Ides of March. It's also 13 weeks after the movie came, after the birthday of the stabber. You guys see how perfect that is? 13 weeks after Pope Leo's birthday, which is the son who just stabbed his father. He did that 13 weeks after his birthday. And he did that 13 weeks before the Ides of March. Again, Caesar, he got stabbed. Okay? So, and 13, of course, is the death card, right? In the tarot. I mean, I think there's way more to that, but I have to kind of think about it more. Gene Hackman, yeah. Is there any other stabbings? I mean, what if we go from O.J. Simpson? June 12, 1994. 31 years. There's that 31 again. Hmm. 185 days after the anniversary of the O.J. Simpson. Again, sometimes this stuff is more of a puzzle than you expect, but it's definitely clear that this movie, Being Charlie, is a huge part of this. Again, if you guys just got in, make sure you guys go back and watch the beginning of this and how Being Charlie is connected to the death of Rob Reiner. And I don't know, maybe we could just do a quick look at Rob Reiner's last movie. So, as a film director, his last movie is called Spinal Tap. Guys, look at this. This is his Guys, this movie came out on September 12th, 2 days after Charlie Kirk. But what is this? Oh, sorry guys. I always leave the comment up. The end continues. Well, that's ominous. That's the name of the front, the saying on the front of this movie. This was his last movie, guys. Look right here. This film was released in the United States on September 12th by Bleecker Street. It's Reiner's final film prior to his death. Spinal Tap 2. The end continues. Huh. Let's just see what the end continues equals. I have to think more about this, guys, but there's got to be something to it. "93 days after his last movie, he was killed. Supposedly. Didn't I have some 93s? Oh, look, Being Charlie equals 93. King Charles. Charles III, which is his main title, equals 93. So I think there's something to that. 93 days. But what is this movie about? Spinal Tap? I mean, let's see what that equals. Spinal Tap. I mean, maybe some of you guys know more about this than I do. I don't know anything about the Spinal Tap movie. But I mean, just look at what they're standing on. Guys, this looks like the pie and the lightning here. This is like, come on, man. What is this? Like, there's got to be huge symbolism here. Kind of reminds me of the death of the Kiss, the guy from Kiss that died earlier this year as well. After 40 years after the first film, Marty DeBerge creates a documentary of a reunion final show of a legendary rock band, Spinal Tap. Finding a sleazy promoter who cannot comprehend music, Simon Hallow Tap voyages to New Orleans to practice. Their concert will fill an arena slot vacated by Stormy Daniels. Huh. I don't know. Again, this takes time to research this stuff, guys, so hopefully I'm not boring you. But thank you to the 217 in here still watching. If you guys want the real info, go to the beginning. He was in Sleepless in Seattle. He did a movie called God and Country. Shock and Awe. The American President. I don't know. Do you guys see anything that I'm missing here? Let me know. Do you see any of these movies that I'm missing, that I'm not seeing something? The Being Charlie is the big one, right? We covered that. God and Country, right? February 10th, 2024. $673 days. The 122nd prime number. Gosh, this is pointing to a lot of 122s. I already saw one. I already saw a few 122s. That's satanic, right? Satanic, San Francisco 122. So I'm wondering how that connects. Released on 2/16. Oh, wait, hold on. Man, it's almost 666 days, guys. So the day before the murders was 666 days after the release of God and Country. Wow. And it was released on 2/16. 6 times 6 times 6 is 2/16. Guys, this is a satanic connection because I told you from the original release on 2/10, it's the 122 prime, right? And in Gematria, satanic. Satanic 122. So both releases of this movie to his death are very interesting. God and Country. Let's just see what that equals. And then we're going to wrap this up, guys. Oh, don't even get me started on the 161. We just covered that yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this movie's about either, but wait, it's about Donald Trump. The film is based on a work of author Catherine Stewart. Inside the dangerous rise of religious nationalism, concerns of the rise of Christian nationalism. Huh, this is super interesting. Christian nationalism. So this is about Trump, because look right here, it says, in its close connection to the right-wing politics which supports the politics of Donald Trump. So think about that. God and Country, right? And it has a 666 connection to the death of the guy who made it. Trump runs on MAGA, which is the highest degree of the Church of Satan. MAGA, right? And now you got this movie about Trump's Christian nationalism, which is actually a facade for Satanism. Okay. Look at that, 93 days. We already touched on that number a few times. What did we talk about with the 93 again? Being Charlie 93. Yeah, this is not something I really have looked into ever, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, let's wrap this up, guys. I don't want to waste your time too much because I don't have any additional finds that I can share right now. Let's see. Thank you to everyone in the chat who signed in today. How many minutes are we in here? Okay, we're under an hour. Let's keep this under an hour. Anyway, if you guys just got in, go back to the beginning, watch the beginning where I talked about the connection between the strange connection between the movie Being Charlie by Rob Reiner and Charlie Kirk and his son, who just killed Rob Reiner. And go back and check out the beginning if you guys are interested. And then after that, we just messed around a little bit and looked for some additional stuff. But Castle Rock Entertainment. I just noticed this. Oh, it was founded on June 19th, my birthday. Guys, my birthday is King James' birthday. The name of the company that was founded on King James' birthday is Castle Rock. Okay. One last thing before I leave, guys. I'm sorry. Just wondering. Ooh. Now here we go again with the 107s, but yeah, no more, guys. No more. I'm just going to go way off topic if I keep doing. All right, so thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys, if you enjoyed the content, hit the like button if you enjoyed. Tomorrow night, Eye to Eye podcast with AJ and Rambo and me. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys there tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And make sure you guys just go over and give some love to all the other decoders as well. Gematrinator 85, Joseph Aquaviva, Widow's Son, Dr. Savage, Golden Age Deceptions in the chat. He's another great decoder. Decode Our Reality. Yeah, just go. I need to do a new post of all the people to subscribe to because I don't have it all memorized. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Eye to Eye podcast. We're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow on our weekly podcast. So we'll see you guys there. Have a great rest of your night. Much love to you all, and God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.